Now this is a Pier mirror from about the late 1800s, say 1880 to 90, and was gold leaf, but it's covered over with bronzing paint or touch-up paint, radiator paint. Looks like old bronzing paint to me, and which is covering the original gold finish. And as you can see along the top, it's broken over here. This crest used to sit right here, and it's a pretty heavy ornament to be stuck on the top there, but it did break off. And to be honest, it's not really this much of an antique to maintain and have to save the gold, so I think I'm going to just paint this one a nice color. Now, to test to see what condition the original gold is, I'm taking some paste paint remover, and I'm going to lay some on top until it starts to dissolve that bronzing powder. When it does, I'm taking lacquer thinner with a brush and washing it off. The remover will melt the bronzing powder, but it will repel from the gold leaf. See this whitish color? That's the gesso foundation showing through. This gold is very worn, and it's pretty consistent all over the mirror. Okay, our whole frame has all been sanded. Now, when you sandpaper, make sure they get in all the cracks and crevices. Over here is a little edge. You want to fold your sandpaper so you get in each edge and each step, so that when we spray, we got a good connection between the spray and the object. Okay, we're going to blow the dust off this, and I'm going to spray on a primer. This is a vinyl primer. It's a vinyl sealer or vinyl primer, and it's a nitrocellulose-based product. It's good to use with lacquer. I'm going to spray it on with a spray gun. And a vinyl primer is excellent when you're changing mediums. Blow the dust off this, and then we're going to spray a coat of vinyl primer. Okay, our frame here has 2 coats of vinyl sealer on it, and it's going to need one more good sandpapering, 220 grit sandpaper. After you do your 220, you can take some medium number 2 steel wool. You can rub it. It's good for getting around all the detail. These carvings, the steel wool is great. Gets it in and out of everything. And then after you rub it, put your hand on it, see if it feels smooth. It should feel, like a baby's butt. All right, we're going to sandpaper this whole thing, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to mix up some special lacquer for it. Okay? I want to talk a little bit about the lacquer that I'm going to use on the mirror. First of all, I chose a color. This is an off-white. It's a little grayer than a Benjamin Moore Dove white. It's a little creamier, a little grayer. And I also have with me, this is called mica powder. And basically it's mica, that shiny stuff when you were kids. You saw it climbing around on rocks. Kind of looks like cellophane or something, or a clamshell look. This is pulverized and ground. So what it does is it helps give you this sort of a pearl sheen, sort of like looking at a clamshell. So I want to mix some lacquer with some of this mica powder so that the lacquer gives off this little glow once it's all done. So I'm going to take some lacquer, put it here in a bucket. Okay. I have here about, maybe about a pint of lacquer. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of mica powder. Stir it into it. Now, best thing to do whenever you're spray painting is many light coats is better than a few heavier coats. While you're spraying, always spray even. If you miss a spot, forget it. Come back to it next time around. Keep all the coats nice and light and even, no drips. Okay, because I want it light, I'm going to thin out our lacquer. So we probably have maybe 2/3 of lacquer and 1/3 of lacquer thinner in here. Okay, that's our soup. This is our main color. After we get the first coat on, we'll take a look and see what our mica powder is doing, whether we need to add more or not. So now, a very important thing, strain it. So this is the mirror with the paint on it. Let's take a close look at what's going on here at the color. If you look around the moldings where it gets a little bit shiny, that pearl, when the light hits it, is picking up all the high edges, kind of giving it a glow. So I'm going to steel wool this all down now and get it smooth again, and I'm going to put a coat of clear lacquer right over this because I want it to get a little dimension, and with the clear lacquer, the finish will enhance what's on here and make it look thicker, and we might get more of an effect with the mica powder mixed in with the lacquer. Here we sprayed the clear gloss lacquer on top of it. Let's take a look at what's going on. This is not going to be the finished product, but there's another step involved. But as you can see, we definitely have some more body on there. And we have a gloss, and this is not the sheen I want. It's the sheen looks a little commercial right now. So there's another step. So I've got wet steel wool. Okay, and I put a little pressure, and I'm trying to rub this finish just smooth. We'll knock off the sheen and get rid of that look that it's just been sprayed. Now, because steel wool is metal, by tomorrow, when it's dried, it's going to be all covered with rust. It won't be worth anything anymore. So it's a sacrifice of steel wool. I use a brush because there's fragments of steel wool left over from the rubbing. They're still in there, so let's use them to be an abrasive to help us get into the cracks and crevices. Okay, I now have the whole frame is now rubbed down with the fine steel wool and water. It took the sheen down. It's now a nice even sort of a lower luster. And what I want to do now is I want to use some hand glaze. It's called Imperial hand glaze. This is used on your car after you use a buffing wheel to take off the fine scratches from your buffing wheel. It's a compound with very fine grit in it. And I'm going to use this, rub the finish on it. It's going to make it clear up. And then at the end, we're going to have a nice, soft luster. Let's see how it looks.